Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BTB Movie Club podcast. My name is Aaron Lashbrook. We hope you enjoy today's movie discussion. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to the BTB Movie Club, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tim Larson here with Aaron Lashbrook and Dan Sears and Mike Wilden and Matt Smith. And hopefully soon we'll be joined by Mike Hilty. We are here to talk about movie number 240. We're closing in on another big number. This is movie number 240. We do not know who picked this movie. We're still part of this contest here, but Aaron Lashbrook is going to lead this conversation. Whoever picked this went way back on the machine to 1996 and picked the cult favorite, pop culture favorite. I don't know what you want to call this, but maybe we'll have an answer to that at the end of the show. We're here to talk about beautiful girls. Aaron, take it away. Your hair looks fantastic today, by the way. I know the podcast
Nice.
people, they can't really catch that, but you got a nice part going on and lovely flowing locks. Take it
Getting a
away.
bit long. It's getting a bit long, so I actually have to comb it out of my face every once in a while.
Looking sharp for the beautiful girls. Take it away, Aaron.
Thank you. Also rocking the only Michigan winner this week, Michigan State.
Yeah.
Lions let us down today, and
Oh, that
so
was
did
ugly.
Michigan. But anyway, neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Yeah, Tim, I think you said already 1996. I don't know if I would go with cult classic or any kind of classic. I know this movie. I really like this movie. But I don't know too many people who have seen it. I've never heard a bunch of people talk about it. Looking it up on YouTube, to hear what other people had to say and stuff. There are a few people who break it down, and I did find an old Siskel and Ebert, and they talked about it positively, which I thought was pretty cool. Some of the things, I know that it made $27 million. I don't know if that was a huge win for them. Maybe Hilty could tell us when it comes up, because I haven't found the budget or what it cost to make. With the cast, you would think it would have been a pretty penny with, Matt Dillon and
Yeah,
Uma
big cast for the
Thurman
time. Yeah.
now I don't know how big Mia Sorvino was at the time, but Uma Thurman had to have been a name. Rosie O'Donnell, I think, was probably,
hmm
at the peak of her maybe talk show. Oh my God, what were the Georgia Peaches? What was that movie she was in
A
with
League of Their Own.
Madonna? A League of Their Own. I don't know if that was before or after this, but I mean, so you would think the budget
Before.
would have been a pretty penny. But 1996, I don't know what a pretty penny is compared to 27 million,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
You wouldn't
But
think
anyway.
it costs a whole lot to make this movie,
you wouldn't think so.
besides the salaries. Yeah.
A couple truck cab scenes, one house, a bar several times,
Music rights. I would think music
had
rights
good
would have.
music, real good music. Good point.
Yeah.
But maybe they were giving them away back then, the music rights. As far as Siskel and Ebert, I had said, I can't remember if they did two thumbs up then or in the little thing that I watched. I'm looking at the screen now, and it's saying Roger Ebert gave it a 3.5 out of 4. 78 on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb. So, solid, but as far as you were saying, Tim, I don't know about any kind of cult following or cult classic. I don't think I've ever seen it on TV, maybe for one reason or another.
Right.
But like I said, I remember it. I don't think I saw it in the theater. But I spent some time with it on probably HBO or, whatever at the time. I don't know if I've ever owned it, but I've always liked it. And I know I've watched it more than once.
Okay.
So, enough about what I have done with this movie. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. But, Mike, let's hear what you had to say about it since... How old were you when this came out in 1996?
I would have been 8 years old.
Okay, so a young tyke.
My favorite now. Um, hadn't heard of it before watching it, and I don't really have a lot to say about this. I just couldn't get into it. Um, I had a lot of trouble paying attention at times. It just kind of wasn't for me, and I know part of that I can chalk up to not being in kind of the right mindset lately to watch a movie like this, but a lot of times I'll come on here and say, well, I'd like to go back and watch it in a different mindset. This I would not like to go back and watch in any mindset. I'm over it. I'm done with this movie. Um, yeah. The one thing I'll say, just to kind of share a personal story, is I worked in a meat market and I will say courted a vegan when I was in college. And so I really felt it when Michael Rappaport was talking about, like, that doesn't make any sense. Why is she going with him? Except rather than that being the other guy, it was me that didn't make sense. I was like, why is she like, I'm happy about it, but like, why is she talking to me still? Um, so that part I got a kick out of, but I quickly fell right back out of it. So yeah, that's honestly all I've got. I kind of the cast was pretty impressive, of course, but yeah, I don't know, man. It wasn't for me.
So you're
All
not in the
right.
cult. You're not in the cult, is what you're saying. If it's a cult classic, you're not in the cult.
No response. Okay.
So
So,
no.
like, out of any, I thought maybe, well, I was watching it this time and just looking at um, the Timothy Hutton going home point of view, and I don't know, just the introspective part of it. I thought maybe, um, that might resonate with you, but that's cool that, it didn't. The whole, I guess you and Tim going over, the past, and then, kind of a little bit, um, Timothy Hutton kind of going back and, figuring out his past and how that's gonna affect his future. But
Yeah,
that's
I
totally
that
cool.
well, that's the thing. I couldn't get into it enough to really kind of like not understand that story, but it was just kind of like I didn't notice a lot of those themes because I was pretty early on. I was like, I just I don't know. Again, a big part of that was mindset, but that being said, I also know like I just this I don't know,
Mm.
Not to beat a dead
wasn't into it.
horse. But what was it? Can you pinpoint what was it that turned you off so quickly in the movie? And yes,
That
I'm
part
trying to
we shouldn't
lead you.
record for.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
All right.
But otherwise,
Intrigue.
other than that though, it was I mean, I was just bored. I don't know. I don't know what this
Yeah.
it just bored me.
And I've said that, before, like I'd rather have a movie make me feel angry than be boring. So I
Yeah.
totally understand that. Boring's the worst thing a movie could be,
Yeah.
in my point of view. Tim, were you going to say something?
No, just enjoying the hot take for the first person getting this ball rolling. So good luck with that, Aaron.
Out
You're
of the
doing great.
random questions that I wrote down to ask as follow-up, you're making it really hard because none
That's
of
good. I
these are
like
going to
this.
Go for it.
apply.
It's a good hot take right there.
Um, well, I guess this would be kind of the most poignant since you have a negative view of the movie. Um, does Bird or Paul, which is Matt Dillon and Rappaport, do they have any redeeming qualities? And you can pick
Well,
one or the other or both.
from the amount that I paid attention to it, I'll say no. I mean, Michael Rappaport does a good job of playing an asshole in any role that he's in. So
Yeah.
it's hard to find. Yeah, I don't know. I right at the beginning when he's complaining about everything and then he's complaining about like, she's trying to push me to get married and then she tries to leave him and he's like, "Hey, yo, let's get married." And she's like, "Wait, really?" And like and like she makes a perfect point like, "Oh, now you're coming." And he's like, "Oh, what?" And what the hell? Like it's I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with no.
All right.
But again,
I,
that's without a lot of like
Uh,
deep thought about it, but yeah.
no, I don't know if I can make a case for the yes. So, to me, I'm assuming kind of no as well.
Which one was what you said, Paul, or who's the other one you're asking about?
Bird, which was Matt Dillon,
Matt Dillon.
Okay.
the high
Um,
school football greatest, his greatest years were high school.
I think the one I don't remember any of the characters' names, but who's the one that kept on talking to Natalie Portman?
That was Timothy Hutton.
That was
That was
Timothy
Timothy
Hutton.
Hutton.
I would consider
Okay,
him the
yeah,
main
that
character,
that
I guess.
that bugged me.
That was
That really bugged
Willie.
me because there was
We
like the scene when he's like sitting there talking about like, yeah, I mean, in a few years she's gonna look good. It's like you are straight up talking about grooming this girl, and it is
yeah.
like kind of grossing me out. So that rubbed me the wrong way big time. So I'd be more apt to say he doesn't have any redeeming qualities, but
Which,
Rappaport's character is just Rappaport's character is just an asshole. That's Paul is just an asshole. But
right.
but yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. With Dylan, causing his girlfriend stress and, cheating on another, breaking up another, I don't
Yeah.
think, I can't, I don't really find, he seems like a great buddy, but I don't think he's a good guy.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
Okay. Um, Dan, what are your thoughts? Had you seen it before this viewing or even heard of it?
I saw it way back in like 97. And and I kind of think the same way about the whole Natalie Portman thing that I thought back then. I thought it was really odd and a little creepy.
It's creepy.
His
Yeah.
character, yeah.
And I think, all right, so this second time it's brought up and it
Yep.
kind of came up last
It
time and
has
we're
to
talking,
come up. Yeah.
right, it's absolutely going to come up and it's supposed to come up. Like
Yeah.
Mo calls him out on it. Mo, it like looks like he might beat his ass across the ice rink.
Right.
He's like, what the hell are you doing over there? So I think it is one of those things that is supposed to cause an emotion in the audience member. So, and like we were just saying, that for a movie to cause something rather than just be boring, um, is to me a better quality than being boring, even though it's a creepy quality. So, but continue, Dan.
Okay. Okay. But overall, I like the movie. Um, it's a little different in that there's, like we were saying a minute ago, there's two main characters. You got Dylan and Timothy Hutton, both as main characters. I thought I don't know, it just doesn't seem like that happens too often in movies like that. Um, but let's see my notes here. Funny quote near the beginning when she brings him coffee out there and she says, "Hey, it's 5 in the morning. You can't get alcohol." And he says, "Does that make it too early or too late?" But
Yeah.
that was a funny little quote. And Timothy Hutton's conversations with his dad and his brother are just really, wow, what a they're really strange. I can see why he hasn't come home in years.
Yeah.
Um, and what's the younger guy's name? His brother.
David Arquette plays him.
He's
Yeah,
Bobby.
Arquette,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Bobby.
Arquette. Yeah. I mean, he just plays somebody that's just like really dense. I mean, he just doesn't have much to say,
He's
and
like a happy idiot. He's like a
yeah,
hard to understand his motivations in life. Happy idiot.
right, right. And he brings home his girlfriend, and he's just like, hey, yeah, he's like, hitting on her.
Yeah.
Like it's like the first time he's seen a girl in his life, and he's really, yeah, I wouldn't come home too often either if I was Timothy Hutton.
The dad is
Um,
awkward too. The dad doesn't
Yeah.
say much, and he doesn't know how to
yeah.
say things.
Yeah, you
It's
wonder what he was like before his wife left. Was he like that, or is he just devastated by her
yeah,
leaving?
Well, she's dead, right?
yeah. Well, I
Oh
think
yeah,
she's
yeah,
dead.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
She did die.
Because I
Yep.
thought I thought that's one of the things that the
Natalie
neighbor girl
Portman.
says is
Yeah,
you know, your mom gone, she die, and he was like, yeah, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sounds
You're
right.
right. Yep. Um, yeah, but when he's talking with Natalie Portman that first time, and the love music starts playing in the background, I'm kind of like, whoa, this is really
Yeah.
they're doubling down on it. He's, having this conversation with her and the music. So wow. Um, let's see, what else did I write down here? I wrote down take the sales job and the 7.5 girl because the piano thing just isn't working out for you. It's been 10 years since high
No.
school and you're playing little
No.
clubs.
Yeah.
Like, go.
Danny just crushing souls over here.
Maybe not take a sales job, but take any job. Just get out of the piano playing business.
But she's a hotshot lawyer. She can carry the load.
That is one thing because she did tell him to keep playing.
Yeah.
So if
That's
she's
what
going to
she
pay the
loves about
bills,
him. He's
That
a
raises
sexy
that
yeah.
seven
piano
and a half a
player.
bit, doesn't it? Move that
Yeah.
up. Move that up.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of funny that it's a show about him coming back for a high school reunion, and they only show the reunion for about a minute, and that was it.
Yeah, they're not even there, right? They never leave the house.
I
Well, it was the geeky guy who ripped on
Corners
the
the
other,
snake.
yeah, the snake and color. They
Yeah.
were at the reunion, right? I'm
Right,
pretty
they
sure.
were, but like our
Right,
characters were never there, right? I
right.
they were always in the kitchen of the
It seemed like
house.
it was just in a house. It wasn't like they were in an activities room of a public building. I think the whole reunion was in that house, right?
No, 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 because they show
No,
her pulling up to like Howard Johnson's.
yeah, yeah. It was some
Okay.
kind of hallway that the geek guy was talking to her in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
because he was
yeah,
half in the door, and when he sees her, he comes out or like meets her at the double doors
right.
and
I
was
I think
like,
that they were just like pre-partying at the house, and
"Yeah,
maybe they were planning on going.
that's
Okay.
what I
She
always thought
delayed.
too."
Okay. Let's see. Paul. I I mean, yeah, like Mike said, he's just an asshole character in this. In his house, he's got the bikini chicks posters on the wall, and he had a poster of Richard Nixon. Did you guys see that? I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Is that his
You know,
hero? I
if
mean,
on that, that's I swear that's just a Michael Rappaport thing. Like you could say all of these things about this character without telling me anything about the story, and then ask, "Hey, who do you think plays this character?" Or if you just told me Michael Rappaport plays a character, and like these are quality, yeah, yeah, that all tracks. Like it's just he's I don't know who he is as an actual human being, but any character he plays is just that.
I've seen some of his like reels. I don't think it's that far off from his real personality.
well,
I'm
and also he
just throwing it out
takes
there.
Andrea, I think her name was, to the bar on the premise of, he's dating her. That's a date for him.
Oh,
He tells
Indira,
her, yeah,
Uma Thurman.
Indira, yeah, yeah, that he's gonna meet their buddies at the bar, and it's just him. It's like, what a dickhead.
Yeah,
But then she
that's
ends
not a
up
good
being
look.
totally cool when she
She
figures it out.
tries. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
She's like, "Hey, let's do this then."
She
I
tried to
see
help
what.
him
yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah. She tried to make the best of it. She's like, but then he got his tongue going in there, and
Yep,
she didn't
I
like
had to
that.
fuck it up.
Yep.
His tongue going in there.
Yep. That's that's definitely one way to put it.
And that was after his former girlfriend had already left, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, he saw her leave, and he's like, well, I might as well just go for it with her. But he totally got the wrong message that, she was being nice to him just to help him out with his
Right.
girl.
So Dan, let me interrupt since we're on him and steal some of Aaron's magic here. I would like to ask the same question that Aaron asked Mike about redeeming qualities. At the end of the movie, when he's crying and removing the snow from her driveway, as he has realized this is over, does that redeem him as a human being in any way, shape, or form for you?
Absolutely not. He just realized he just completely fucked up, and okay, I'll do one nice thing. But no, it does not. All the stupid stuff he did, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't change it for me. And it was him that said about Natalie Portman. He said if she can cut her food, she's fair game.
Oh God.
I
My
believe that was a
God.
Yeah.
quote from
That's
him.
just
What the
It's like,
fuck?
that's hard to get past.
yeah,
Some of this movie is hard to get past.
yeah. Um,
Do we know what reunion is it, a 5 year or a 10 year?
10,
All right, so we do know it's 10. So,
10
I
years.
mean, These guys are almost 30. There's, yeah.
Yeah. Even if
I
they're
mean, even if
it's
they
a
were only,
high
even if
barrier.
only they were, 24, that's still terrible to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Last thing I wrote down was every geek's fantasy to get back at the hot chick who was mean to him in high school. And that dude gets his revenge. Didn't you used to be Darian? So that was kind of funny.
Did
Yeah,
you
that was
bring some
good.
personal shit into this movie, Dan?
I didn't say that was me.
You might.
But
So Dan,
there
oh,
was
go ahead.
definitely a couple of hot chicks that were mean to me in high school. I will
All
admit
right.
to that.
Same.
I
Okay,
don't know
what's
where
your
this is gonna
question?
go. I was gonna say, uh, out of any of the characters, not even the main group of guy characters, out of any of the characters, which one or if any do you kind of identify with? You're like, yeah, that's kind of me, you know, um,
Hmm.
you know, Kevin, the kind of, hang around funny
Don't say
guy,
Paul.
or, um, you know, Paul, the dipshit. Which one do you think represents you, or
You're giving
which
him
one
Dan,
would
such
you
great
want to
Dan's like, oh, the
be?
choices.
dipshit for sure. Like,
Careful,
what's
Dan.
he gonna
Careful.
The,
say?
the
I know I definitely
dipshit, the
can't go with Paul
pedophile,
or Timothy Hutton. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, like great choices.
Yeah.
yeah. Boy, which one do I identify with? Man,
Or none? I mean,
yeah, I can't identify with any of them.
You can choose
The
Rosie
guy,
O'Donnell if you want.
well, yeah, I mean, you kind of could, somebody who sticks up for her friends. It doesn't have to be, male, female. It could just be like straight shooter. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I can't say David Arquette either. I mean, he was a
Yeah.
complete weirdo.
Yeah.
Uh, the other guy was married with two kids. I mean, I can't identify with
Right.
that.
Mo.
Yeah, no, I can't identify
Okay.
with
No,
either.
no,
I'm
that's
sorry.
that's
Yeah.
totally fine. That's that's
The
why,
bartender, couple of bartenders you can choose from.
yeah, Stinky and his brother.
Was that his brother, the other guy?
Yeah, because I think Indira, I think they're both her cousin. So
Oh,
I
okay.
assume they were
Gotcha.
brothers. Maybe not. Maybe I heard it wrong. I
You could
thought
be
that
right.
was maybe because they were just kind of both bigger guys. What about okay? What about and I tried to look up their names. The three guys at the bar that
That's what I was
our
just
characters were
thinking.
talking about that work all day and drink all night, and then two
Yep.
weeks a year they go to the Cape and they drink all day and they drink all night.
Yep. I think that maybe could have used to been me, but not anymore. I can't identify with them anymore. I don't drink nearly as much.
All right, that's fair. Um, we'll let Hilty get situated here. The recap real quick, Mr. Hilty. The going word for this movie is creepy. And that Birdie and Rappaport's character Paul have no redeeming qualities.
And Timothy
Um,
Hutton's even worse.
and Timothy Hutton for somehow is even worse,
He's
even though
even
he never
worse.
did anything to anybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tim, what do you got to say about Beautiful Girls, the
Yeah.
movie? Not,
So so here's the thing. I think what I'm feeling and hearing from you guys is there isn't a single character in this movie that you feel like you should be able to relate to in any way whatsoever. Um, there's a lot of characters, and usually when you have this kind of an ensemble cast, there's usually somebody to root for or to feel like you connect with. And what we're hearing here is there isn't anybody in this cast who you either root for or connect with, which can be off-putting.
None of
However,
the men, anyway.
I like the movie. I like the. I don't think it holds up. I think part of the problem is 1996 is a long time ago, and some of the way they approach being human beings just doesn't work in 2025. Michael
Could it?
Rappaport's a perfect example with all of the, like, he refuses to take the pictures down of all the bikini girls up on the wall. And he's like, why would I do that? This is what beautiful girls do. They inspire you. And when he gets on those particular scenes, it is a soliloquy. Like he goes on like with borderline profound statements, which are absurd but well spoken. And I kind of like that. And I would say Natalie Portman's character also is the other one who at times gets to use these artistic, profound metaphors for expressing how she's feeling, which is odd to communicate to Timothy Hutton. So, yes, it's awkward to watch this in 2025.
Tim,
Yeah,
you didn't know, but Timothy Hutton. All right, so I was going to bring this up later, but you kind of touched on it. So to
yeah, go
me,
ahead.
there's a Kevin Smith aspect where like I wish I had not particularly these guys, but like in high school, I had a group of about five friends that we, found each other on the weekends to get in trouble with and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how these guys were, and they're romanticizing their past, and I think that happens a lot. They think they were better friends than they were. Um, but I thought there's a Kevin Smith quality to it, especially the way they talk. The talking was to me Timothy Hutton kind of does it too, but I expect it from him for some reason because I figured he got out of the small town and maybe went to school, and
Hmm.
I don't know. Um, but like the way that Rappaport talks and Natalie Portman, it's like nobody talks like this.
Right.
I wish my friends talk like this. I wish I could
Right.
have a conversation like this. I like even myself, I can't talk like that. And they're putting together these, weaving this tapestry of beautiful, and I'm like, nobody talks
It
like
doesn't
this
make any
out in front of the
Yes.
diner that you just got in an
Yes.
argument. But anyway, so that kind of thing where, but I didn't mind it from Timothy Hutton. Like it seemed like it was okay coming from
Mm.
him when he was saying more profound things, or even Uma Thurman because we really don't know her background because
Hmm.
she said some pretty profound things too. But anyway, so you were just talking about how they talk, and I don't. It was a bit jarring. It
For
it pulled
sure.
me out a bit the way they talked, but it also reminded me a lot of Kevin Smith
I like that
movies.
analogy. Yeah, Rand comes into the Quick Stop. Is it Quick Stop? I haven't watched that movie in a long time, Clerks.
Yeah,
And some of the shit he says is pretty profound. And the guy who I can't remember his name, the one who says I'm not even supposed to be here today, like they do a good job of
yeah, Dante and
um,
Randall
Dante, thank you, imparting certain life wisdoms to each other that have no merit on life whatsoever. It
for two
sounds
guys who
good,
work in a party
but it
store.
has no merit on life whatsoever. And that's kind of what these people are doing. So I I do want to focus on Natalie Portman a bit because it's so off-putting. The attraction between her and Timothy Hutton is so off-putting. Um, I know, Aaron, you and I talked about this last week when we weren't recording, but she was in Leon the Professional right around this time. And I think we looked it up and that was either just before this or just after this.
It was like the
So
year before.
so she did this twice where she's in a movie where she's way too young to be portraying sexuality, but she is. And um a 12 to 14-year-old girl is actually going through that part of her life and starting to explore that part of her life. And so it's usually not touched on in a movie. So when this does get touched on, wow, that's a bad phrase for that. When that does get brought up, um, it does feel really awkward, but I don't know how inappropriate it is for Natalie Portman to be acting lines like that, because that's the truth. Like, you can't get from childhood to adulthood in one day. It's not like you have an 18th birthday and all of a sudden you start having thoughts. And so I think there's some honesty that Natalie Portman brought to a couple of these characters. Now, look at Timothy Hudson's side of it, and here's a dude that's questioning his whole life, and he sees something in front of him that is just genuinely interesting. I believe him when he says to whoever he's talking about, I think it's Mo, he's like, hey, there's nothing sexual about this. It's just, I'm enjoying talking to this person. But the problem is he doesn't know the emotions he's toying with, or he doesn't respect the emotions he's toying with. And Mike is saying it's grooming, and I, I don't know if it goes that far, but I think that it's so close that it's worth being in that conversation where you shouldn't toy with emotions like that with some girl that's that young that's saying things like that. So I definitely want to be on the record for saying that. Um, but kudos to whoever made this movie for bringing up raw emotions that most of the time you don't talk about.
It's
Uh,
a Weinstein movie, so be careful there.
yeah, that's a good point.
I was gonna say,
That's a good
you
point.
saw who produced this, right?
So the motivations for doing it, yeah, you guys are probably
Yeah.
right, are not that good, but
I mean, he didn't write and direct it.
Right.
He just
Yeah.
produced it. So
Right.
that part of
Producers
life
still
is an
have producers still have a lot of
they
sway
do,
when it
yeah.
comes to
especially that
stuff, though.
one. Yeah, he would bully his way into doing stuff for sure. So yeah, I mean, so maybe don't give him credit for going there, but I will say that I will give the movie credit for having gone there, for exploring what a young girl goes through as her life is becoming less childhood and closing in on young adulthood or adolescence or whatever. That's daring. That's a daring subject matter, and no, Natalie Portman did it twice. So all right, so I'll get off of that.
Hang on, wait.
Music, yeah, go ahead,
Before you move on,
go ahead.
just because I've watched the movie several times, I've never really talked to anybody with it. I've definitely never tried to break it down. I, you know, don't see it the way Mike saw. I haven't. I don't know. Whatever. I don't see the grooming. Um, but I get it. I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to make light of that or anything. Um, I've never thought of it the way you just said it, though, where, character wise, talking about the characters, she's having these emotions. She's going through them because it's the first time, she's talking about dating a boy in school and stuff like that. And the power, I've never thought about it, the power that Timothy Hutton's character has
Hmm.
with having knowledge of where those emotions and stuff end up going. Um, and I don't think just because how the movie ends, he leaves and never does anything inappropriate, whatever, horribly
The
inappropriate.
big inappropriate things that doesn't
Right.
happen. Right.
I mean, he never touches her or anything, but the point of my story is I've never thought about how the weight of the words have power. And he might not even be thinking about it himself, but he's using his age and knowledge and understanding of the emotions, thinking, well, she's saying these things, she must know what I know. You know, I don't
Right.
think he's trying to manipulate her. I think he's just talking to her as an equal. This is an old soul and we connect. No, you don't.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you have
That's what's
knowledge
wrong
that
about it. Yes.
she's learning these things and you know these things, and that's what makes it
Hmm.
the wrong thing. That's why Mo wants to punch him, But anyway,
Yeah.
so I like how you said that.
Yeah. It's those it's real shit. Like I it's a fake movie, but that's real stuff. And then the other thing I was going to say is this group of personalities for me watching it in 2025 is very believable for 1996. Like it's outdated concepts from dudes in a small town who have not been experienced to a whole lot of people. If you haven't been a lot experienced with a lot of other people, where are you going to get your constructs of society and humanity from the older people in the town? Whether it's your parents or your teachers or whatever, and they're a mess. These people are a mess, and I kind of enjoy the mess of the movie. I really do kind of enjoy it. None of them have a redeeming quality. If that's your follow-up question to me, the answer is none of them. Um, and it's except maybe.
So you're talking about just the guys, though.
Well, I'm getting there. Maybe
Okay.
I'm starting to think about the girls. Mira Sorvino's character, the fact that she finally has had enough and holds her ground. That's pretty powerful, but she does at the end, doesn't she leave the door open for him a bit?
Oh yeah, I mean they totally get back together, but I mean, so she is super harsh way to put it, a weak-willed, needy person, but that
Yeah.
doesn't make her a bad person,
Right.
Like I
Right.
don't think she's bad. Like when I think of somebody who doesn't have a redeeming quality, I'm talking, they're bad. They're a bad person who,
Yeah.
I don't think she's a bad person at all. I think she's just, you know, sad and lonely and um what do you say? Low self-esteem.
Right. Which, as sign of the times kind of stuff for me, is how I read that character in this environment. Rosie O'Donnell is kind of a treasure in here. I mean, she doesn't want to put up with anybody's shit. She does though, because she helps arrange the birthday party. But then she's real quick to be like, "Let's get the fuck out of here." Um, Lauren Holly's character so loathsome and also cracks me up. It like she's kind of a comedy piece to me in this movie. Um, and it's I don't know. I don't know why I'm drawn to this movie, but I like it. Like there's no good reason to like this movie, but I like it. It's like this weird sketch of bad people in a small town, and I'm to borrow the meme type phrase, I'm here for it. So I hope you all judge me for liking this movie, but I like this movie. Even though I really don't like a lot of the characters. But I enjoy that Timothy Hudson at the end, who is, I think, the main character, walks away from this hot mess and figures something out about life. And I take that with me at the end. So there's my thoughts on Beautiful Girls.
I think I cut you off at one point. You were gonna talk about music.
Just I think it's great. I don't have
Okay.
a lot of insight on it. I just think that it's well placed and it helps the mood as you transition from one thing happening to another. I did enjoy how hard Matt Dillon fought against those four guys, and I did enjoy that he got his ass beat. Like it all worked out as it should have,
Right.
you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, a beer mug to the back of the head tends to end a fight.
You know, if a dude
But
sits next to you and he's like, "I know that you're having sex with my wife, and we're going to deal with it right now," you kind of deserve everything that happens after those words, right? So
and wasn't it a pretty good scene? He walked in, he saw they were there, he tried to get out. You can put your dick in my wife, but you can't drink my beer. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna go outside. He's like, it's just gonna be me and you. And he's like, I doubt it. You know,
right, right,
and
right.
he's right. And he hears all the feet coming down the stairs, and I don't know. I think it's a great scene.
Hmm.
I think it's like the dialogue. It's you know poetic, and it's too good for actual like real life.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, kind of thing. But it's a cool fight.
yeah. It's definitely a wheel coming around that should come around. There's no doubt about that. Um, okay, so I'll stop. That's those are my thoughts.
Well, you won't stop just yet because I
Okay.
do have a question. Um, do you believe now? I know it's not like you've been in New York for 10 years and never visited home because you were already there. And, your parents came out and, met halfway or whatever, got married. And, you've been back several times. Um, but so you've got this big life decision Timothy Hutton does. Do you think it's a good idea to go home to see what you're leaving behind? Do you think that helps in moving forward, or do you think it could be something that could trip up your future plans? Do you think you should just, once you're gone, stay gone?
Oh, I like what you're doing there. I think that it was convenient timing for him. Um, I don't think to figure out your life you'd have to go back to your roots, but I think it was just convenient timing. He's like, "Yeah, I'll go back because my guys are expecting me," and he brings this secret, like he doesn't really want to let it out. Um, until somebody kind of pries it out of him. Which, by the way, here's another Timothy Hutton issue. Like, don't describe your woman as a 7.5. Like, don't do that. Don't put a number on any of it. Like when somebody asks, I haven't met her yet. What's the number? Fuck you is the number. I'm not giving you a number. But he plays the game that he shouldn't play because he's with his guys that aren't appropriate. And then he's kind of talking through it, and he's not really honest until he's talking to Natalie Portman about the relationship, which is once again weird, but also for the storytelling purposes, a little telling. He can't be honest in front of his friends because they are all dipshits they're all man children. But he
So,
finds this one avenue to be honest, and then you get his thought process. I think going home for him was a catalyst to figuring out his life for sure, but I think it was just a matter of convenience, not something that's necessary.
okay. I went away to school, but I was home most weekends and stuff, and I went an hour and a half away. I wasn't like gone across
Mhm.
country or whatever. Um, but I still saw coming home that things or either I was changing without them or things at home were changing without me. And
Mhm.
it was, it's like, yeah, I'm not in high school anymore, where several of those guys still hang out together, and do the same
In
shit.
the same place.
Right.
Yes, yes. I've noticed
So
that too as somebody who has moved away. Yes.
I do think going home and taking a survey of, yeah, I'm doing the right thing,
Mhm.
can, but I can see where it could trip somebody up. Like if they have a really great time with their friends and, all of a sudden their fiance isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Last question, Tim, what would you rate the movie if you had to give it a number?
Oh, like out of 5 stars?
No, out of
Um,
10
Out of 10 stars.
or the number 10. There's a right answer.
There's a right answer.
Yes. All right, you missed
Uh,
it. It's 7.5.
Yeah, I
damn
Um,
was
it.
gonna
Damn it.
say.
I thought you'd be real quick with that one.
Sometimes I hate myself.
All right. Um, I was gonna save Hilty for last because he was late, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna make Matt wait. What'd you
Oh,
think, Hilty?
that means it's my turn.
I'm
That's your
not even
cue.
gonna insult you with asking you if this was the first time you've seen this movie.
Um, no, it's
Okay.
not. So,
Hey, I've already got mine. I don't need any more,
mhm,
Hilty first.
it's all good. I'm assuming that we've already talked about how this is very of the time and, kind of like piggybacking off of what a lot of what I heard from Tim. Um, this movie does not age well, and
Right.
Tim, this movie is only 29 years old. It's not that old.
Right.
So, um,
It's older than the characters.
I mean, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's Hilty, that's a really fair statement. And also, I think society has come a long way in those 29 years about this kind of stuff. And for what reason, I don't know, but good for us.
push and pull on that because I
Okay.
think some parts of society have come a long way
Right.
and other parts have not. So,
Really recently, we
I
might be
agree.
sliding back a
The
little bit.
the work's not done. The work's not done, but the work has some work has been
some work has been done. So
put out there. Yes.
I will give you that.
Wow, that
This
could be another hour and a half. So we better get away from that.
Yeah, guys, let's talk about, the geopolitical climate of masculinity currently in the United States,
Yeah.
Who's
in
seen
the
the
year
latest episode of Rogan?
the year in our Lord 2025, right? So,
Yeah.
um the Natalie Portman stuff just it it's too far. It's
Mm,
way too far. And that's the thing that kind of to pull something from the kids, it gives me the ick, and I'm like, no, just no. And Natalie Portman has said, like, she came out in 2020 and was like, this role traumatized me for
mm,
a very long time, and that sucks because she's a phenomenal actress and she is pretty great in this. And I really wish that somebody would have taken a look at the script and be like, quick note, let's punch this up a little bit. Let's make her 18. Just simple,
yeah.
simple punch up. Um, However, also it doesn't change the fact that when she was filming this, she was 13 as well. And that's not good either. So that is that's partially on producing, that's partially on casting, that's also partially on the director as well. Be like, y part of the director's job is you got to protect the actors. And Ted Demme, who directed this, um, this was very early on in Ted Demme's career. He had only had one movie under his belt at the time. It was called The Ref, and then he directed a couple music videos and then directed this. So not a whole lot of experience with this. I wouldn't say anything from like a technical standpoint. Like when I think of the movie Beautiful Girls, I don't think of things like, oh, the lighting was really great or the cinematography was strong. All of those were perfectly fine. Nothing to write home about. What really makes this a fun movie. I think fun may be the appropriate word for me in this. Are the characters, because I feel like everybody has a friend group where it's like, I know that person, I know this piece of shit in my friend group, and warts and all, you find ways to love them anyways. Um, and also just the interconnectedness of the story. Aaron, you mentioned that it's, Kevin Smith-esque. I definitely agree with that. It's even got very early Tarantino-esque of just the way that like all the characters are just weaving together in and out. And this really doesn't have like a central story. It really just feels like a snapshot of what it's like to see someone coming home after they've been, away from a smaller town for a while. Um, it's very interesting because as I'm coming up, or I've just passed my 20-year high school reunion, and just stuff like this, like in a bar. Now all these some of these similar conversations now happen in the Facebook group for our 20th anniversary, because we can't figure our 20th reunion, because we can't ever figure out or can't get a time where everybody could, get together and kind of just hang out. Um, so of the time, the Natalie Portman stuff is just, it keeps it from like me saying that like I enjoy this movie, but I at least had fun with it. And I don't know if that's worse, but
I
to
think it's
me,
fair. I think that's
yeah.
fair.
Um, but this is a who's who of like up and coming people in the 90s. And it sucks because you look at a lot of the people in this movie, and arguably the most famous one right now is Natalie Portman, because
Yeah.
everybody else has kind of like either aged out or just kind of their careers kind of fizzled a little bit lately. Um, Pruitt Taylor Vance, who plays, God, what's his character name? Uh, Stinky.
Yeah,
Stinky.
he's Pa Kent.
He's Pa Kent. Yep. So, um, good for him for that. But um, it's just, this is a very, whoever said creepy, that's good. It's a good word, but like I wouldn't say it's creepy. It's just, it's of the time, and it's like just borderline a little cringy.
It's
That's it.
it's funny that you like refer to it like as up and coming. Matt Dillon, I mean, he was a child, if not teen star.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but for a lot of them, it's like, shit, I think it was their last movie. I don't remember another thing they were in after this.
Yeah.
You know, and they were all
In
still
a big
famous.
way,
Uma
anyway.
Thurman,
Yeah.
obviously. I don't know if the Mira Sorvino Phoebe movie was before or after this.
After.
Okay, so but it was just like, I could kind of see that. Obviously, Natalie Portman became a giant star, um, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just kind
But
of funny.
but the rest, yeah, yeah, that's a good point. The writing in this, it's interesting because Scott Rosenberg, who wrote this, You take a look at his IMDb, and he's more known for writing action movies. So he wrote like Disturbing Behavior, Gone in 60 Seconds, and the gem of a movie, Con Air. Like the
This is the
dialogue that
same
it,
guy.
It's a lot of
yes,
Nicolas Cage in there.
it's the same guy, but I look at the movies that he's written, and I look at because he wrote the screenplay for High Fidelity as well. I was like,
Oh,
well, okay, I can see where some of the weaving,
quippiness.
the like the
Yeah.
dialogue, and I could see a little bit that where that comes from a little bit. But then he writes something like Kangaroo Jack, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to make of this now. So um there is a there is kind of a spiritual sequel to this. It's a TV show. It's called October Road. I don't know if I'm like that interested in checking it out, but it is supposed to like connect to some of the stuff that happens in this. So something definitely worth checking out.
I
And
watched a few episodes of it way back,
and
and I only watched a few. That was it.
cool,
What
cool.
would you agree it's related to this and that? I've never heard of it. Like, is
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah. It is.
like the same characters? Like, is there a bird and a Paul and a
I don't think it's the same characters. I think
oh, okay.
it's the same
Feel.
same
Yeah.
feel or
Sa-
same town or same group of friends, just different, just more like other people in that friend
Huh.
group. I don't know, like, but the didn't make a whole lot at the box office. I couldn't find how
Well, I
much.
found the 27 million that it made, but I
We
was
don't know
like,
the budget.
I
with the
don't know a
cast, it
budget.
had to have been, but I don't know what a big 1996 budget would be.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's
fair.
100 years ago.
Well, considering that like in the mid 90s, Michael Jordan was making $36 million like for his whole contract. Yeah, that's I don't know.
But he got a buck a shoe.
Yeah, that is true. And also he was a degenerate gambler, so he probably made a lot of money that way as well. Still the greatest basketball player of all time,
Oh,
Tim.
for
So,
fuck's sake.
so yeah, that's about it.
All right. So, Hilty, I have a question for you because it's been so iffy. Not even iffy. It's like trailer
It's if
trash, bottom
naughty.
of the
It's if
yeah.
naughty.
So, um, I tried to reword it as which one of these characters would you identify? So I had this idea where it would be like, which one of these characters would you want to be? And obviously, I can't ask that question because everybody hates all of them, you know. Or which one do you see yourself as? I kind of, which one of these characters would your friends from high school think you were, if any? I guess I got to throw that out because, you know, everybody's creepy and horrible.
Well, this is a good try, Aaron. I like what you're doing here. Let's see what he does with it.
Um,
In a fun way, without the grooming aspect.
I mean, are you all trying to get me to say Willie? Because if that's the case, I don't see myself as
No, 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 no,
um
no.
if
And that's funny.
taking a look at thinking about some of the characters, I would probably say Paul, maybe, because someone who was in a relationship, things were pretty steady, but kind of went through a tough situation when he gets he gets dumped, but eventually comes around because I don't know, like I I was somebody growing up who was like, I don't know when I'm gonna get married. I just like being in a relationship, and so that was probably that because I don't know, I wasn't the jazz pianist who falls for a 13-year-old. I wasn't the guy who's got pornographic images on his wall. I wasn't the
It's a
guy that
tough
was
choice
cheating on his girlfriend with somebody
with a
else's
married
wife.
woman. Yeah.
Um, so
Sounds like you've lived a pretty
Yeah.
boring life, Hilty, honestly. That's boring
I
to me.
mean, I have lived a boring little life.
Or a good life.
Right.
However you want to look at
A
that.
good, boring life. They can. I guess I should have put more thought into these questions because I didn't see how far they were going to go off the rails.
Oh
Yeah.
no, those questions, those fun questions make a group like this because they're, I don't know, it's
See, if I was
there
going to be
are not.
totally honest, looking at this movie, I would I would believe that I was Mo,
Mm.
Mm.
the solid guy who, shows up like friends are in town. I don't get to see my friends ever and kind of gets wild and ends up screaming at a guy on his porch, but sees all of that. That's who I would like think I was. But if you were to ask my high school friends, I guarantee they would say I was Kevin, and I accept that. I get it. I was there for the ride. I was fun to hang out with, but I was a sidekick, and I get that. I can understand that with my own life. So that's when I was thinking about it, I was like, who am I? I'm fucking Mo. And then I was like, no, I'm fucking Kevin. And I'm okay with
You
that.
know,
Kevin has a sweet stash.
I mean,
again,
if oh,
I have limited attention that I paid to this movie, but I feel like for me, I'd be
Weldon
one of the
really hated
girls.
it, which is good. Go
is
ahead.
it because he watched it on double speed on YouTube?
No, I think he paid
No,
attention and
sadly, I
really
watched
hated it.
this on normal speed and I did not enjoy it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But what were you saying, Mike? Sorry, I cut you off to be
Oh,
fair.
I feel like I would be one of the girls. We haven't really talked about them much, and I can't contribute a lot about them again because of my thing, but I feel like if there's anybody with redeeming qualities or anybody I could relate to more, it might be any of the number of women in this movie. The one that's being cheated on, and she's got her friends kind of helping her out and she's kind of trying to navigate her way through that. And, she's still like, loves them. They like see each other from across that restaurant and she's like, oh, hi. But then, the crazy, cheat comes in and she's like, oh, she feels that stab because there she is like, oh God, here we go. Like I've been there,
That's also
more
fair.
times than I probably needed to be.
Right,
So
Yeah.
I'd be one of them at least.
right.
Aaron, a twist on your game here might be to make Matt assign characters to the rest of us when he's talking. Instead of saying which one he is, he should assign the rest of us characters.
You
And
sure you want to go there? You
let's
sure?
really
I
fight at
well,
the end of
because
Are
this
we
you
all
discussion.
know,
sure?
Matt. We know, right? We know. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Sexy piano player.
With the fancy words.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
But seriously, Hilty, you good with?
Thank you for listening to the last episode of BTB.
We've enjoyed doing this. Thank you guys for being here.
I mean, the only other character that I guess sometimes I do relate to a little bit is is Gina a little bit is Rosie O'Donnell's character where it's just
Mm.
I I look at sometimes my group of friends, I'm like, what the fuck is happening with you all right now? What is happening? And Wilden can attest to this because sometimes when sometimes in student government, I would like raise my hand and be like, what are we doing? Like what is this right now? And then that was just like a little bit of a come to Jesus moment for some people and be like, can we move on now, please?
Yeah, no, when she fucking lays down the law in the drugstore,
Yeah.
whips out the magazine and she's like, this is fake. This is this. Grow up, you know.
Yeah.
None of it's real. Look at look at your real life. Make better decisions. Stop living in fantasy. I totally dig Rosie
That's
O'Donnell's
pretty
character in
good.
this movie.
And right after
And
that, she's
he'll
walking across the street and a truck almost runs her over. and she shrugs her shoulders, and I don't even know who's driving the truck, but she's like, "Really, Paul? Really,
Right.
Paul?
She,
I
yeah.
have to wait for you." So everybody, it's one more thing that says we all know each other,
How
and
small that town
yeah,
is.
Guilty. I think I would back you up 100% on that one. I mean, just
Mhm.
obviously the example you gave, but yeah, that's that. I would assign that one to you if I were the one assigning characters.
One more thing on Rosie O'Donnell's character. Don't you guys feel like even though she's the first one to jump out and be abrasive, don't you also think she's the first one to go to that person after and be supportive?
Oh yeah.
Like I
She
feel like she
has
backs that up with there's anger up front to the other people, but I think she also backs it up with genuine, heartfelt um, friendship after to help people pick them up.
I totally agree. And I think a lot of people would confuse it with somebody who says, like, basically, I'm gonna hurt your feelings, but like, can I be honest? Or what's that saying? Where
Can we talk?
it's not can we talk, but it's
Okay.
something like that. Like, I'm brutally honest. I'm just gonna be brutally honest right here. And they're just gonna. I think she's the opposite. Like, she is 100% honest. I don't think she has emotional guardrails. Like, she says exactly what she's thinking. And not that she's not concerned that she's going to hurt somebody's feelings, but it's very close, because I do have people in my life who are, well, I'm just being brutally honest. And if they can't handle it, it's just the truth. And I don't see her being that. I see her being like, girl, this is what you need to hear. And, and then I'm going to hug you and we're going to cry and I'm going to find you a better man and,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. I'd
Which
take her
once again,
character as
I would say is very Mike Hilty like.
Yeah. From what I know about Hilty, I would
no
agree with that.
emotional guardrails.
I would agree with that. Uh, I was going with the support angle, but no emotional guardrails is fine too.
Fourth thing is what I
I
was
think
talking
that's
about.
huge for support. You know, put himself out there when he sees somebody
Yeah.
in need.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, eviscerate us all. Make us all feel like crap.
Good luck, Matt. Good
I
luck in this position. Good luck.
so yeah, going last is always interesting, isn't it? So I don't know how much I'm going to add to this. Couple things. One, the Natalie Portman stuff. I agree with the creepiness and here's the worst part. It was totally unnecessary. You could have gotten the plot point, realization, whatever you needed in a different way. You didn't need to make it a 13-year-old neighbor girl. There's lots of ways you could have tried to get him to have his realization or whatever it was that you were trying to get across there. Like adult 101 is when a young person, maybe it's because most of us are teachers, like when that type of, if an adult or a young person starts to show signs of having a crush on you, you diffuse it as soon as you possibly can. You step away, you distance yourself, like you don't feed into it and continue to make it a thing. Like that's just bad adulting on his part. But again, it's a Weinstein movie, so who knows? Um,
Certainly don't give it a nickname.
yeah, sorry. Yeah. Um, Michael Rappaport might be one of the most annoying people to ever act in a movie ever. I've never liked him. He's always been annoying. Even he was in the teacher show, Boston Public. Was that the?
Look, yeah.
I'm getting it
Boston
confused
Public.
with Boston
Yeah.
Legal. Yeah, Boston Public, and I like that show a lot. Most annoying character on the whole show, even more so than the teacher who brought a gun to class. Um, and I don't even remember that guy's name. Michael Rapport's just annoying. He's like the Boston, like obnoxious, just idiot that. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Um, and by the way, Andira, really, was that a typo? Should it have been Andrea? That was a typo, right? Like somebody typoed it in the script and they just went with it because it sounded exotic. Anyway, um, yeah, this is
You've Matt, as
yeah,
a teacher,
yeah.
you've seen some names.
Oh, I've seen some names. That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Um,
Mike and I were at a bar today and we got served by a lady named Essence.
Essence. I
And her
like it.
actual
Very
name is Essence.
That's what
exotic.
she had him type on her name tag.
Pretty cool.
It's exotic. Tim, you know from the school, we have lots of preferred names listed on
Yeah,
that computer
yeah.
system. But anyway, so this movie is classic 90s to me. Like, let's get a decent, like a big name cast with some good songs and some quirky writing, and let's throw it together. And I'm sure it was good at the time. I think somebody said it doesn't hold up, maybe Tim, like it definitely does not hold up, probably as well as they would have liked. That doesn't mean it was bad acting or anything like that. I think there's some redeeming qualities there. Mo is the best person out of that whole crew by far. He's the only one with any redeeming qualities in that crew. Um, he's loyal to his friends, he's willing to protect them, but he's also a family man who um, understands what's really important in life, or seems to anyway. I don't know the man, but and I could
Can
not.
I push
Yeah,
back
go
on
ahead.
this, Matt? He's also the guy who is watching his friend who was cheating on his girlfriend with a married woman and said, "You pick a fight with one of us, you pick a fight with all of us."
Oh, I don't like where you just went there, Tim, because
Yeah,
it
I,
hurts a lot.
I'm
But
saying,
I don't think he's part of that crew. I think he's hanging out with those guys because whatever C's in town.
but he was the
What
leader
is it?
of
Timmy
that
C?
posse to
What
go
do they
get
call
him,
him?
though.
Willie C. He's not. Yeah, but he just happened to be, I think it was at his
well,
house. They were all at his house when the call came in, and
Uh-huh.
it was like high school again. I don't think he's
right,
felt
but
those emotions or been with those guys
and
Did,
probably in 10
didn't he tell
years.
his wife to shut up?
He did.
And he
he
She
and he
said,
no,
did.
he
Whoa,
said
whoa, he said not now.
he said not now, and
He
then
did
he
not say shut
apologized.
up.
He apologized at the end and said
Yeah.
he loved her.
right.
And here's the thing: it wasn't that his friend, who's a d-bag for sure. Like, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, and I think he knows that too. But it's not like he got in a one-on-one fist fight with the guy. He got put in the hospital by four guys.
Yeah.
True.
That's a totally different. I'm sorry, that's just different.
Yeah.
Like, you put my buddy in the hospital, there's a little bit of difference between that and, oh, you guys fought in the parking lot and that's it. Okay, like
If
you
the
deserve
husband would
that.
have kicked the shit out of him and be like, yeah, he kind of deserved it.
Yeah, right, right, exactly. I like couldn't watch this movie without thinking about other movies, like Kev or Kevin or whatever. He was in Maverick. He was one of the
Mhm.
card players in Maverick, and actually Mo, he was the assistant coach in Miracle, and so I couldn't stop seeing him as the assistant coach in Miracle.
I didn't
Kev
know where he
was?
was from. I've never
Yes,
placed him before. I
I
have
didn't
no
that's
figure
where he
that
was
idea.
out
from.
either.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, is he gonna tell him? He didn't tell him to get on the line. The other guy did, but anyway,
He was
that's
the
I
one that
like.
kept trying to
Yeah, he
hold
was like
down
trying to
the
stop
character,
him,
and
right?
yep.
Um, and then Stinky was in a lot of stuff, but he was the priest in Constantine.
Yep.
So I couldn't
Oh,
help because he's kind of a weirder character in that when he like gets possessed or anyway.
Hang on,
So
since you brought him up, Matt, real quick,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
interrupt. Where I know him from is a TV show called The Mentalist. He came in the
Uh,
later seasons of that, and it was in that I noticed he has a shaky eye
he
thing.
does. He does.
And then going back and seeing this movie again, I'm like, oh, he's still like he's always had that.
He was
And then seeing
Paul.
him as Pa Ken, he still has it. I'm like,
He was
that's just
Paul
always.
Newman's buddy in Nobody's Fool, also.
Oh, yeah.
oh, that's right. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
He worked for him or whatever.
He worked for Paul Newman in Nobody's
Yep.
Fool. Yep. And
Um,
Shaky Eye.
shaky eye. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, pretty classic 90s setup. Didn't hold up. Natalie
Right.
Portman stuff was not necessary. Um, Mira Sorvino, I had a roommate in college who was like obsessed with her, and I never saw like she's an attractive woman, don't get me wrong, but like I never saw the obsession part of that. But she was pretty popular in this time frame. I don't remember actually, other than Romeo and Michelle, I don't remember anything else she's been in, but I know she was quite popular with some people. And then just the movie in general, like it makes sense. Like 10 years, the guy who actually has a life comes back, sees his friends have not left high school, basically, right? They're still partying and whatever, and has the realization eventually that he needs to go make a life for himself and be with this woman and whatever, get a job, whatever it is. Um, I like that aspect of it. I just think they could have avoided a lot of the BS and the pedophilia that
Jesus
that
Christ.
they. Well, I mean, it was sorry. Like the girl's 13. I'm sorry. Like, what do you want me to say? And he did the right thing in the end, but he just you don't say stuff like that out loud. Like he's literally talking to Mo and saying things that you should never say out loud,
Correct.
and that just bugs me. Um,
Correct.
so I don't ever think I'll need to watch this movie again, obviously. It had some moments, but I thought actually Uma Thurman had a chance that she didn't get a lot of screen time. She was kind of there and then gone. She had a chance to be a really developed character
Mhm.
that could really have been like the classic 90s, like, I'm going to explain it to you and have you boys grow up along the way. And then none of them did, except for Willie. So, well, Mo was already kind of grown up, but except for Willie kind of grows up. The rest of them kind of just stay in their little boyhood. So, yeah, it wasn't the worst thing we've ever watched in this group by a long shot.
But I
But
can't say I like
That's a ringing
it.
endorsement, Matt.
eh? Nobody? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and yeah, so yeah, hit me, Aaron Flashbrook.
I'm actually not going to.
All right.
Being the whatever, the purveyor, what Tim, I'm gonna need you to pontificate for a while, maybe ask some questions, keep the chat going for a second. I
Mhm.
gotta use the bathroom.
Okay,
I
I got it.
haven't been able to, and I didn't want to take off while somebody was
Got it.
talking. So I'll be right back.
I got it. I would, since Matt brought it up, I would argue that Uma Thurman's character is one of the best ones in this movie for
Sure.
this small time that she's here. Let me go around the horn here and ask, do you think, as Matt is suggesting, if she was there longer, could she have added to the plot? I'll go to Dan first. Dan, if Uma Thurman had stayed in town longer, or do you think it's weird that she just immediately got along with all these guys genuinely? Do you think somebody who came in from out, from Chicago, a big city, do you think it's unnatural that she would get along with all these guys, or do you think if she stayed longer, she would add more of an impact?
I think she was the type of character that she would get along with anybody, anywhere she goes. She just had
Okay.
that type of personality that she immediately can would connect with people. But I would have definitely liked to seen more of her in the movie. Um,
Sh- She seemed to help Timothy Hutton along in the ice shanty.
yeah, she was
She
willing to
seemed to
help
have some
him.
wisdom, even though he was being stupid, which is what they do. But she seemed to help him along. Do you think if she was along longer, she would have had a more of an impact?
Yeah, she was trying to help out Paul there also. She
Hmm.
yeah, I definitely would have liked to seen her character developed a little bit more and get her a little more screen time.
Okay. Hilty, do you think that she was in and out in this movie in the perfect amount of time? Would it have ruined it if she stayed longer? Or do you think her staying longer could have helped this movie?
Listen, Tim, anyone from the great city of Chicago is just going to just bring so much to the table. So I think that she her being in it would have had the opposite effect because it just would have made everyone way more redeemable because she's living in Chicago right now. So I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so you're not taking the question seriously. I got it. Matt, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah.
Do you think that if Uma Thurman was in the movie longer, is it less believable, or do you think she would have helped the characterization and the plot and
I
the
mean,
credibility?
I brought it up, but yes, I do think she, since it was my comment that you're basing this
Hmm.
off of, I do.
I'm
I think
stretching here.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think, but it's a different movie, right? If she's if she's in it longer, you have to make her the focus and how she's the linchpin to them all growing up. So I get that it's a different movie if you make that happen. The focus is on her and her ability to be wise to these idiots. But yes, I think it would have helped a little bit. You could have taken the whole Portman subplot out, I think, and
Hmm.
had her. I do think it was weird, as much as she's like comfortable, going out and meeting these guys. I do think it was weird she would put herself in a situation, A, with Paul and B, with Willie. Like Willie in
One
the
on
ice
ones.
shack, like
Yeah.
one-on-one situations. At least Paul is like at a bar, so like whatever. But like in the ice shack, you're from Chicago. How many ice shacks have you been one-on-one with a dude? And
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that did
that's
seem kind of weird.
questionable. That's set up nicely by him being a drunk, poetic piano
Sure.
player
Yeah.
where he
Yep.
seems
Hmm.
harmless enough, but still, girls know better than that.
Yeah,
Mike
definitely.
Not in
Wilden,
the 90s. Not in the 90s.
yeah,
What are you
We
talking
also know
about?
she's coming from Chicago. We don't know if that's where she grew up. I mean,
That's true.
she might be from the
true,
mean streets of,
That's true. Her
Flint.
cousins live in
true.
Massachusetts, so
Mike, did you watch this movie long enough to notice that Uma Thurman was in it?
Yeah.
Do
No, I
you
knew she was going
think,
to be in it.
did you feel like her character added to the movie and made it more interesting for you?
More interesting is the word? No.
Okay, that's fair.
You
That's fair.
set
Aaron,
yourself
back
up a
to you. I
landmine
did
there.
everything I could there. Aaron, back to you.
You did good. You did excellent.
Yeah, good job.
Um, Wilden, would you like to say any more? Did Tim kind of slough you off on that one? Like, okay.
Done with this
Um,
one.
if I could go with the Uma Thurman question, I thought it was the right amount of Uma Thurman. Like, I liked um, what she had to say in the four scenes she was in. She talked to
Mhm,
Matt Dillon on the road, right? He drove past her. She was walking.
mhm.
Um, just was like, nope, I don't want anything to do with you because
Yeah,
she knew he was dangerous and trouble.
yeah,
I don't think she knew Timothy Hutton was harmless. That's why I think,
right.
you know, I don't know if it was a bit because he was like New York, right? And she was Chicago.
yeah.
Is kind of like where they were coming from. Yeah, I don't think she had any fear, nor should she have had with Timothy Hutton in the ice shack. I get they were going to have a conversation, and wherever it was going to be, it could be his dad's living room or whatever. But creepy brother would be there. Um, so,
Also, he was a little bit drunk. I feel like if he made a move, she could have taken him
oh yeah, she would have
without
stuck
even.
his ice down, stuck
That's
his
right.
face down the ice hole.
That's right.
Maybe drowned
Yeah.
him. Um, so
Calculated risk.
right. I think she was fine with that. Um, M- oh, Matt left or not left,
Hmm.
but um, my next thought was, well, I'm gonna pretend he's listening and we all heard what he had to say. Um, I've, well, last week I defended this as, all right, so I see this movie as more emotional, you know,
Hmm.
as and kind of maybe where my questions came from, you guys could glean that it was about going home making a decision. Am I going to go forward with this girl in New York, or is that all over and I'm going to come back here and see what's going on? And obviously and it's more about um, fear of the future, longing for the past, seeing his friends that are living literally in the past, his brother, his dad, who are literally living in the past that he remembers, or his future possibilities with his 7.5, which I mean, come on, at least a 8.2. Um, you know, I think all that has to happen. Not once did it cross my mind, and the crux of this is Natalie Portman's a big part of that longing for what could be. So this is my past. This is not necessarily, and I've never ever seen it like sexual in the times that I've watched it, but I've seen it as this guy thinking, fuck, I'm 30 and I'm not where I wanted to be. Things aren't going my way. This person next door, speaks like an adult, which kind of gets him into trouble. Um, but like she's gonna have a way better life than I am, and maybe that's part of my Kevin thing. Maybe I could just hook my trailer to this, and because she's gonna have an awesome life, and I'm not 100% sure where mine is going. it'd be safe to come back here and call it quits. But, this other thing is happening and, just seeing the potential.
Mhm.
So I see Natalie Portman as just potential. Um, and he's thinking about what he could have missed out on in the future, if you can miss out on the future. Um, but Matt saying that there is a way to make this movie without her at all. And
Hilty had a great suggestion. Make her 18 and we don't have a problem.
and I like that. And I was
Yeah.
gonna I was gonna hook my trailer to that one too. Um, but I think Matt's is, you know, if not, equal but better. It's like I don't know if we need that storyline at all.
Yeah.
We could somehow lump it into Indira, you
Yeah.
know, where things could go, or, it's, I've never, I've watched it a few times. Like I said, I've liked it. Um, it would be in a top something movie. It wouldn't be in my top 10 of all time, but it would be maybe in my top 10 movies of 1996, you know. Um, But yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm glad we had this talk.
Uh,
Um,
Aaron, I have a question for you. Let
okay,
me
give it to
let
me.
me push one on you here as you have been asking questions to everybody else. Do you think in the production room, as they were making decisions about how to put this movie together, do you think they ever talked about having Uma Thurman and Natalie Portman in a scene together? And if they did, why did they decide not to do it?
Um, I don't. Hmm. All right, give me 30 seconds.
Sure.
Um, I don't think they thought of it,
Hmm.
and I don't. I like where you're going with it. I like the
She could have been
um,
a mentor in some way,
well,
right?
to Natalie Portman, but it would
Right.
also like, and to see Timothy Hutton's reaction to, because we kind of saw his, I'm going to call her fiance, definitely girlfriend, um, lawyer, 7.5. Um, we saw her not really interact with Natalie Portman, but ask about her. So they
Mhm.
were in the same outside area together. Um, but would it be like a um, George Costanza worlds are colliding if Uma Thurman and Natalie Portman like
Yeah.
had a conversation? I like that. I mean, that would have
Yeah.
added a really nice dramatic, um, and it could have shifted the whole tone to Willie C. You know, pull your head out of your ass. What are you
Mhm.
doing? You
Right.
know, because I could see Uma Thurman having that kind of reaction to him. It's like, what the hell are you doing, Willie?
Right.
You know, you're a good-looking piano player who lives in New York. Why are you even talking to this? You know, why are you even musing about this 13-year-old in Massachusetts or Maine or wherever they are?
Yeah.
I like that. I
There's a
don't know.
lot
I
of
don't think
room
that
there.
conversation ever happened. I don't think they thought about it that much.
But again, as Matt points out, it's a Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
So we're talking about people who, you know,
Well,
we're
and
trying to put
Hilty,
art where art may not belong.
we've talked about this before. Hilty, what is the movie test where do two women have a conversation that's not about a
Oh
man?
yeah.
Back Bechdel. Yes.
Yeah. You know, I mean, obviously it would be better if it was about Will, and that's what we would think these two characters were talking about, but it would maybe even be better if they, you know, I don't know. The bus slid into a ditch and Uma Thurman was walking past and they just walked, for a while together and talked. I like that too.
Yeah.
I thought I liked this movie. I guess I don't.
All right. Well,
We
I
could
think
make it
we've
better.
all I think we've all felt uncomfortable enough while discussing this movie. We can probably say that we've done what we can with it. That'll be the end of movie number 240. But we are in the middle of a competition, so it's the time to take some guesses as to who picked this movie. And I will go in the order of people who talked here today. So, Aaron, why don't you give us your guess for who picked Beautiful Girls?
I told you from the start, and I wish Melo was here, to prove that I don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I picked this movie.
So you're saying you picked this movie.
I'm saying to everyone that I picked this movie.
Let's see what happens here. Mike Wilden, your guess on who picked this movie?
I really wish that Aaron had gone last because I was gonna pick Aaron for this movie, and now it's like that's just hollow. So,
It
It's
does
not
so yeah,
hollow.
no,
It's smart. It's a smart pick. You will definitely not be throwing a point away if you pick me.
Wilden, your official pick is?
oh well, obviously Aaron, but like yeah, I'm just disappointed that it's like a freebie, and I was gonna choose it anyway.
Dan, who do you feel that picked this movie?
The Hilty did this a couple weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
and I think for the integrity of the contest, I'm going to go with who I originally thought, and that is Tim Larson.
Oh, Dan's going with Tim Larson.
Well, because he's Willie C, right? We all know that.
It says sexy piano
is.
player in the movie.
Yep.
It says sexy piano player. I love it. I went next.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and the other thing I wanted to say is I think Aaron's full of shit.
No doubt about that. I went next, and I will pick Aaron Lashbrook. I believe Aaron Lashbrook picked this movie.
Because
Hilty,
I've never lied to Tim in my life.
it is your pick, Hilty. Who do you think picked this movie?
Kind of want to say Wilden just to fuck with him a little bit, but
This
He
would be
did put
the
on a strong
best.
front about
This would be
hating
the
it.
best hoodwink ever if Wilden picked this movie.
that
Yeah, it would be, except, when you had us pick these movies for this contest, we didn't know we were going to be trying to stump each other. So,
That's true. Well, next time we play it.
you were 4 when this movie came out?
8. He was 8.
Hmm. Okay. Um,
Oh, the wheels are turning.
Don't do it, Hilty. Don't do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do I
Get
look
the
like
point.
the kind of
Do
guy
it.
that would have picked this movie?
I'm gonna go Brian with this one.
Late 90s. That's a legit candidate. That is a legit candidate. Matt,
Well,
your thought on
his logic for the one that he picked for me was that I mentioned it once when we were podcasting a while ago, because apparently when we podcast, I only talk about one fucking movie. So, so it's all good. And also, I did look it up. This does pass the Bechdel test. So,
Really?
Oh, there's girls talking to each other about in the barbershop.
In the salon.
Yeah, salon, barbershop.
But they're talking
Guys go to
about Matt
barbershop.
Dillon. But who is he not the main character? Is that part of the Bechdel test that it's not the main character they're talking about?
no, it's just about conversation about anything but men. So if women are talking about women with one another, then yeah, that probably counts.
I love that that's a rating. Matt, your thought on who picked
Well,
Beautiful Girls?
I've already picked Aaron twice, so it seems
Throw another.
illogical.
I mean,
It
get
seems
the point this
illogical.
time.
You need
Yeah.
points. You're playing the game here.
So I'm gonna go. The only candidates I thought would pick this, I've already picked. So I'm gonna go with Ryan Malo. I think Ryan Malo
Malo
picked this.
picking Beautiful
He didn't
Girls.
show up twice, so
Malo, who has 2 daughters, you thought picked Beautiful Girls.
I did.
He missed. I like how he missed the time we were gonna talk about it. and
Yeah,
he didn't.
he's come
missed
in empty.
again.
He's
See,
come in empty on this.
And
That's
Malo's
telling.
Malo's the video store guy, right? So this
that's
probably
true.
He's
was
Randall.
This
That's
probably was on at
Late
some point.
90s, he said he worked in that video
Yep.
store.
Yep. So I bet this was in there somewhere. So
All right, kids. We still won't know for a few weeks who picked these movies, but those are our picks, and this is our time with Beautiful Girls. We'll see you. Oh, we need to pick a movie.
Yes, we do.
I was not prepared for this. This came as a shock to me that we have to pick a movie. Give me 30 seconds to organize myself. Matt, talk about what it was like to be in the garage locked out last
We
weekend.
already talked about
Yeah,
that.
we've
Well,
covered this.
not everybody knows that story.
Or well, my whatever.
Oh, I got
I
it. You
think
know,
it'd be
I have another topic. Mike Wilden, please explain to everybody how Buffalo Wild Wings owes me $9.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Like, so what his gripe is, what happened is they switched
what had happened
bartenders
was I was just
during
what had
during
happened
our
was
stay there. And so the theory here is that the second bartender double charged us for one of our drinks for each potentially. And I think that is maybe what happened,
Mhm.
but I was a lot less upset about it than Tim was.
Did you also get charged for an extra drink?
I'm pretty sure I did, and I also bought your first drink, so get the fuck over it.
I'm just well. So now you owe. They owe you more than $9. Is what
and
you're
he's still not
Well,
upset
yeah,
about it.
but like there's money isn't everything. At some point, time and energy has to be accounted for, and
That's
the
how they
effort
get
it
you.
would have taken to try, because
That's how
the
they
shit
get you.
when that girl when you were talking to her and she said, "Oh, we can go back and look at the cameras," it was like, "Oh, no."
We both
Like
agreed
that's not
that
what
that
this
was when it
is.
was
That's
time to
that's
stop.
way too far here.
However, they owe me $9.
Okay,
Okay.
so if you were gonna go like this movie and like our growing up, not really growing up, our college experience, I mean, 100% you're Willie C. I'm Mo and Brian's
Yeah.
Birdie. I mean, 100%,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's where I was kind of at when I was coming up with these questions. So, Wilden, where are you going, or what are you doing?
I gotta go to the bathroom, so pick a movie.
Okay, got it. We will go with movie number 5 comes up randomly, and that movie will be Nomad Land from 2020. The name of the movie is Nomad Land from
Nomad.
2020.
I thought you were trying to say No Man's Land.
No,
So
I'm
did I.
not. It's Nomad Land. I've never heard of it. Or
That's what he
Francis
says.
McDormand.
It won Best Picture at the Oscars.
so you're saying I should have heard, or maybe I have heard of
I
it.
recognize the
just
poster. Does that help?
I'm good with pictures.
I'm
Well,
good with
think
picture. Oh, David Strathairn is in it.
That doesn't
That's
help me
say
at
that one
all.
more time.
that's
Say
my
David
that one-
guy.
Strathairn? Strathairn? How do you say? Okay, Hilty, Mr. Expert. How do you say it?
Strathairn.
Yeah,
Okay,
Strathairn.
sure.
David
That's
Strathairn's in it.
not even close to what it looks like. Okay.
You know who would mispronounce that name is a guy who picked the movie. I'll tell you that right now.
No, maybe it's all of
Nomadland is our movie from 2020.
That'll do it for this episode of the BTB Movie Club podcast. Thank you as always for listening. We know we enjoyed ourselves. We hope you did too. Have yourself a great week. We are partnered with the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.